It begins with Quill and Rocket Raccoon traveling through space until they get pinged by an emergency beacon. They come across a mining ship that belongs to Stark Industries. As they dock with it, they prepare to board, but they assume it just has mechanical problems. As Quill and Raccoon enter, right away we see 3 lasers aiming at them, and with little time to react, Quill gets blasted. A shot lands on his torso area. He falls, as Raccoon starts shooting back. Before the other members are able to react, they too get attacked right away, as a smart disc weapon cuts through them. We then see the person who led this attack. It is Kraven the Hunter, as he is joined by other predators, and he also has a plasma caster on his shoulder. His bone mask also has thermal vision. It also says this story takes place after the event of Predator vs. Spider-Man. We then go to Weapon Plus facility in Virginia. We meet General Pet and Dr. Cornelius. This old man also appeared in Predator vs. Spider-Man, where he showed up to capture the body of a Yautja. Dr. Cornelius would lead her to a room and lock her inside. And in here, she would see where all the funding is going when she's found by Predator X. The story then shifts to a ship landing on the moon. This belongs to the Predator King. We did see the Predator King appear at the end of the story, Predator vs. Black Panther, when they were going to Earth to search for more vibranium. We see Kraven is aboard the ship. He was marked by another hunting party for defeating a dangerous Yautja known as the Skinner, which happened in the story of Predator vs. Spider-Man. For almost a year, Kraven would live among them, studying their ways and teaching them about Earth. As Kraven approaches the king, someone strikes him in the back. As he turns to see who it was, Kraven would meet the older son of the Predator King, whose name roughly translates to graveyard. His weapon and armor were made of vibranium. Kraven would still have to kneel when addressing the king, and provided him with a list of targets. He would help them hunt down all the targets on the list, but he has one request. One trophy belongs to him. The prey he wants for himself is Spider-Man. We then go to another side of the moon to Luthor Crater. We see the Fantastic Four are stationed here, and right away they too are under attack by a group of predators, including the Graveyard Pred and Kraven the Hunter. Reed gets injured by his arm getting cut off. Sue Storm would protect him with a shield as the Thing and Human Torch go for an attack. The plan is to separate the team and take them out one by one. Johnny Storm is taken out first, getting his head ripped off. Kraven would guide the predators in battle. He tells them how to beat each hero. The Thing is physically stronger and almost indestructible, so they won't be able to make a trophy out of him. The best way to deal with the Thing is to remove him from battle by sending him away. As Sue Storm is holding Reed Richards, even in his weakened state, he tells her something important, that whatever cut him, it had to be stronger than steel or adamantium. He says, it must be vibranium. Sue would be seen protecting Reed, telling him to rest. Both of them are being hunted, and they are far away from home. And that is the end of the first issue in Predator Kills the Marvel Universe. The story picks up on the dark side of the moon, where the Predators just attacked the Fantastic Four. Kraven leads a pack of Predators on a hunt, guiding them on the best way to defeat every hero they encounter. He tells them that Earth is the ultimate trophy, but they need to move fast and attack with a strong approach before any other heroes can realize what's coming. We are then taken to the Xavier Institute, where Professor X and Magneto are having a game of chess, and they are once again discussing the hatred that some humans have for mutants. But at the same time, because of Magneto's rhetoric, we also have some mutants that hate humans. Charles then gets some deep mental pain as he sees what happened to the Fantastic Four. He says, "Something is wrong. I felt pain. the immeasurable pain of love lost. It was a cry for help, but it was a warning too. We see a ship hovering above the mansion, and a weapon is armed. Just then, Magneto gets pulled upward. The Yautjas put Magneto at the top of their hit list because his powers could bring down their entire fleet. The Yautja designed this inversion magnet specifically for him. The master of magnetism is powerless right now, as he too becomes prey to the predators. A group of Yautja then start to descend on the mansion. The X-Men have no idea what's coming for them. We then go to S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters in New York City. They scanned the skies and picked up an alien vessel heading in their direction. The transponder code identifies it as the Milano. They tried to reach them on the comms, and the Yautjas would use voice recordings of Peter Quill, Star-Lord, and his voice ID checks out. But something is not right. The voice match is correct, but the radar doesn't match up with the Milano's specs. But they ignore this warning and say it's just because the ship's been blown apart and patched up together so many times. The ship is granted permission, but we see many more invisible ships behind it. The story would shift over to Weapon Plus facility in Virginia, where General Pet has met with Predator X, a project run by Dr. Cornelius. He explains that this is a predator, an alien species that has hunted on Earth for several centuries, and now it's under his control, thanks to his technology that he calls the Mind Wipe. Back in the Xavier Mansion, we see the X-Men taking part in a Sentinel training program. Predators would then start to approach them, and Beast would suggest it's a problem from the storm outside. Before the X-Men can reboot the system, Cyclops gets attacked right away. We are then taken to the Avengers Tower, and they see a ship pass by their window. They're expecting the Guardians to come out, but when the doors open, they don't see anyone come out. That's because the Predators were invisible. This just seems very strange to them. Captain America starts to think that maybe they just walked into a trap. Another target on the hit list was Bruce Banner. Captain America's shield gets thrown into Bruce's lab with blood on it, which makes him mad. Kraven knows you don't stalk a bear, you bait it. The Hulk has been baited. Now Kraven and his hunting party would only get one shot. The story picks up with Kraven being chased by the Hulk. Kraven is trying to run away as the Hulk is enraged and in close pursuit. Kraven leads the Hulk into a room of predators. Their plasma casters are aimed at the Hulk and they open fire. A few Preds get close enough, but the Hulk grabs one and rips him in half. His rage continues to grow, and so does his strength. He throws a Pred out the window, then does a thunderclap to push a few others away. We are then taken back to a memory of Kraven hunting with other predators on their planet, where he went to hunt the strongest prey with them. They taught him, and so he taught them in turn, and with their stores of vibranium, which they called God Metal, they had a worthy arsenal to launch their assault on Earth. Kraven was helping the Predators defeat every person on their hit list. He knew the best way to beat every hero or villain, and even the Hulk. Kraven would lure the Hulk to the rooftop near the landing bay, where he had a special device for the Hulk, a vibranium Hulk Buster, to drain the gamma energy from him, and it worked. After Hulk gets hit by this beam, he starts to revert back to his human self, and now the weakened Bruce Banner lay on the ground. Kraven does one final assault on Bruce. He was most worried about the Hulk, but his plan worked. Now raising his weapon, he strikes at Bruce one more time. We then jump to Wolverine coming home, and upon arriving at the mansion, the entire home is engulfed in flames, and we see a body left hanging as the fire burns it away. As he approaches the doorway, his rage begins to rise, but something is watching him, seeing his body heat. Just then, the burning body of Charles Xavier comes flying through the doorway. 3 red lasers aim at Logan's head, as the enemy is revealed to be the older son of the King Predator. His name is Graveyard. Wolverine gets blasted by a purple ray from the Pred's weapon, sending his body flying back. This beam ends up ripping off part of his face. The Predator would get his wrist blades ready, but then Nightcrawler would appear near Logan. Logan remembers he fought some version of this enemy before, and just before Graveyard can strike, Nightcrawler teleports away and saves Logan. The story would then shift back to the dark side of the moon, where it says the first wave of hunters stalked the planet. The Predator King would then prepare for the next stage of his plan, which is to release drones upon Earth in several locations. They would locate satellites, space stations, power plants, data centers, and more. The Yautja are not just targeting the heroes and villains, they're going after everything. This all happened so fast that only now some of the heroes are beginning to see what's going on. The Avengers Tower is under attack and burning away. Even the most powerful among you can't stop us. The king stands as Earth falls. Various locations are then under attack. The king removes his mask, revealing his face. He's got a large hole on his forehead, a damaged eye, and missing mandible, the sign of a warrior that has been through many battles. He leads his army, for the war upon Earth has just begun. But there is still hope, with survivors like Wolverine, Iron Man, and Spider-Man. We see Invisible Woman appear from behind the throne, and that is the end of Part 3. The story picks up in New York City, with bodies of heroes and villains left hanging, but they're not skinned. The Predators are seen fighting against the Kingpin, who gets blasted by the plasma caster, and also Dr. Octopus getting his arm cut off. Not only that, but there's attacks on power and infrastructure. The news of the slaughter spreads beyond this realm, to where even the gods have taken notice, and so Thor would show up, but the Yautja are ready for him. Kraven gave the hunters a kill list, and so the Yautja would design their weapons in a way to defeat each target. They would use a vibranium bullet on Thor. It pierces his armor and Thor falls. It says he gets pulled by the gravity well and then falls into the munition, which looks like a pit of magma. As Mjolnir is left burning on the ground, a single Predator wants to collect it as a trophy of defeating Thor. But this Pred gets ambushed by Wolverine and Nightcrawler, and his body is kicked into the pit of magma. Wolverine sees another Pred targeting some humans in a vehicle. He jumps behind the Pred and cuts the head off. But as they let their guard down, a net covers them both. It starts to tighten, cutting away at their flesh, but they do escape it as Nightcrawler can teleport out of it. Wolverine would smell something in the air. It's different and nearby, and out of nowhere, the Graveyard Pred shows up and impales his spear into Wolverine's body. Graveyard knew about the adamantium skeleton inside Logan's body, and he wanted that trophy more than any other. Spider-Man would then appear to save Wolverine and Nightcrawler. He webs them both and tries to get away, but he gets blasted in the back by a Graveyard. But Iron Man shows up and saves them all, as he flies away holding Spider-Man, as the others are pulled by the webbing. Kraven has the same tech as the other hunters. He sees that one hunter has made contact with his prey, Spider-Man, but at the same time, the Predator incursion is being monitored by someone else, and they see that Kraven is the one helping these hunters. Dr. Cornelius has created Predator X, and their main target is Kraven. This Predator will move behind the scenes, undetected by his own kind. The Predator that was captured by Cornelius is the one at the end of the story, Predator vs. Spider-Man. We are then taken to the Yautja base on the dark side of the moon, where Sue Storm wants revenge for losing her family. She finds the core reactor, and if she disrupts the fusion, that should result in a catastrophic release of energy, which is one hell of a bomb. Before she can do this, she gets thrown from behind, and the one that appears before her is the Predator King, the greatest killer of them all, and now he has come for Sue Storm. The last image we see is that Black Panther has arrived in New York City. He learned that Predators are using vibranium as a weapon of mass destruction. The people of Wakanda don't really help those outside of its borders, Black Panther would say, "It's Wakanda's responsibility and our honor to put an end to this war and to them." The story continues with a trio of heroes in New York City, which include Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Wolverine. Tony would say the enemy they face is overpowered, so we should be on the same level as them. He tells the others to pick an iron suit. As they go over the details of the enemy they face, they find out the Predators are using vibranium, but they also have it. Now a battle between two sides would begin, but our heroes know the city and mountains better than the enemy. Tony also learned that the hunters they face would use thermal vision, but the iron suits our heroes are wearing can lower the body temperature to match their surrounding environment, which makes them almost invisible to the Predator's thermal vision. This would give our heroes the element of surprise, and one of the Preds gets taken out by Iron Man. A local news team flies in with a chopper, trying to get footage of the battle, but they just get in the way, and the pilot gets taken out by the Preds. While Iron Man and Wolverine go up against the Preds, Spider-Man would save the people in the helicopter, because he chooses not to kill, unlike Iron Man and Wolverine. We see Wolverine go up against multiple Predators, but he takes them all down. But then he gets blasted by some energy beam, and the one who shows up is known as Graveyard, one of the two sons of the King Predator. The Yautja succeeded in their attack because of three factors: the knowledge and strategy from Kraven, the element of surprise, and the vibranium also known as God Metal. But now other heroes have shown up using the same strategy. These heroes would arrive in New York City to battle against the Predators, the ones who invaded Wakanda and stole the vibranium. We then see Kraven inside his trophy room, but there's still one prey he wants to hunt down, and that is Spider-Man. Kraven starts to remember his time with the Yautja. They were hunters like him. They lived and died by the law of tooth and claw. But he also wondered if they were using him. Seconds later, another Predator appears behind Kraven. Kraven has no idea who this is, but he does not care. He wants to be known as the greatest hunter in the galaxy, but he does not survive this battle. Predator X was designed by Dr. Cornelius. During the story of Spider-Man vs. Predator, he was able to capture one specimen and used it to hunt down other targets. We go back to the dark side of the moon. Sue Storm is captured by the Predator King, but he did not study Kraven's list of targets. He was an arrogant general that stays behind as he sends his troops to war, so he does not know or care who Sue Storm is. But this was a mistake. Because she could be more powerful than he expected, Sue would use her force field on the king by ripping him apart from the inside. She then attacks the other Predators and would use her power to cause damage to the reactor. This would release massive amounts of energy, resulting in a huge bomb. The explosion lit the sky and shook the air. This could be seen from Earth. This would distract a Graveyard for a moment, enough time for Wolverine to strike and cut his leg off. The Pred is injured, so he takes off his mask. Logan goes into a rage. Losing Xavier and the X-Men pushes him into a frenzy. These are wounds that will never heal. He attacks Graveyard over and over until it's done. With the help of the Wakanda forces, they defeat the Predator army. After Predator X took down its target, which was Kraven, General Pet would then order the decommission of Predator X, but Dr. Cornelius would disagree. There is still one hunter among them. This hunt is over, but the story of Predator X is just beginning. The end. For now.
I